Good morning, everybody, and welcome back for another... Oh my god, the stupid sun. The goggles, they do nothing. So, this is a battle from the 29th of July, and as you can see here, you could probably figure out what the subject of this video is going to be. Or maybe I should say, as you can't see here. Because this is... I can't stand it anymore. The sunlight. The sun effects in these battles. We claim that all these battle rating changes and stuff have to happen for balance, but then we do stuff like this where one side is so drastically, terribly, overwhelmingly affected by the environment. I mean, look at that. I just took a hit from back at their spawn. I've barely even left ours. They can already see where we are because we're shining like bright shoot here magnets. There's one down. Teammate down. I fired a shot just for the sake of clearing my gun to get my smoke rounds back so I can randomly fire smoke rounds off at them with no hope of aim. Just hoping that one or two of these shots is going to hit somewhere that will stop them from being able to see our guys. And you can see that we would have had to cross in front of the murder alley there to get to the A point where the actual cap is, so I didn't even bother with that. I went down to the city by the river, trying to get some cover behind some of these buildings here, and hopefully close the distance behind all the guys sitting on the ridgeline right off their spawn, who can shoot right into our spawn and right at all the direction we have to go to get to the cap, and we can't see a thing. So I safely made it down into the city without being able to see anything. I mean, look at that. Look at the upper part of the screen right now. That is just, that's insanity. So anyway, as I mentioned yesterday in the AMX 40 First 10, I spent the night from the night of the 28th of July from about 11-ish something p.m. until about 7:30 something in the morning on the 29th grinding the final about 100,000 research points I had to go for the AMX 40. This was one of those battles. I had used a 20 battle 15% research booster initially at the start of the night, and this was after that had run out. I had a 300% research booster that I'd gotten from the daily tank or air assault. I'd actually won one of them. And I also turned on a 100% silver lion booster because, well, what the heck, I'd been having pretty decent battles. And then this battle happened. So, I mean, I had very little hope that it was going to be a good battle with the booster on. But I made it down here into the city, and I knew I was going to have some cover right here to maybe move up to where the enemies were going to be and maybe even get a few shots at them from their sniper ridge. And I figured there wasn't too much of a chance that I would get more than one shot at anybody up on the sniper ridge, although I did take a peek up here to try and spot anyone. And, whoop, there was a silhouette up there in between the windmills. I almost just drove past to try and move in on a position where I could shoot into the A point from the side. But I thought that guy's going to have no expectation that he would be watching for us here. And sure enough, he wasn't, and that was that. So a little bit of a revenge on a guy who'd been shooting into our spawn from their spawn because of the sun. I mean, not because of anything else. And then I picked up an Abrams up here, completely blissfully unaware. Hit him, didn't do a whole lot of damage. He turned his turret immediately towards me. I thought I was going to be finished, but he actually didn't see me. I don't know if he noticed any other of my teammates or anything, or if he just couldn't figure out where the shot came from. But thankfully for the trees and the bushes here, I was able to relocate and get back up and get a good shot in behind him. And knock him out as well. So I did get 2 good kills pretty quickly here with my AMX 30 B2 Bernus. And then I'm sure by now they've got to have some idea where I am because they've got to see the smoke from all their sun shining through it. So I moved up to try and get a holding defensive position here and try and cover our team's advance into the A point. There are some of them back at the A point. You can see quite a few enemies back behind the on the far side of A from me as well. So I'm trying to move where I can hopefully get a sight in. I could hear another enemy firing somewhere close behind me here, and I know how dangerous it is to move out from cover around here because obviously that sun is like a giant spotlight shining on everything in front of their spawn. But I'm hoping that my team can move in Cap A, and then I'll be able to sit back and pick guys off here. Now this guy, I didn't notice that I was hitting a house, unfortunately, right as my gun tracked. Probably would have had a pretty good hit on him, but unfortunately he was able to stop behind the house, and he was smart enough not to come out from behind it, so... Sadly, could not get a hit into him. Then I took a hit from who knows where, and it was just a matter of, can I back up fast enough? And the answer, of course, was no, I cannot. And as I'm trying to reverse out of danger and take a hit and then stop to repair, I thought, okay, well, I didn't take a follow-up hit here, and maybe I actually did make it out of danger. So right now, just trying to figure out exactly where all these enemies are. Spot one here. Can sort of see where he's taking hits. I'm about to actually reload my tank. I fired to knock some trees down and get a better mark on him, better position. Got a deflection off of him, and that's unfortunate right there. Because not only did he kill somebody, but then of course I got killed by somebody sitting back right above their spawn on that sniper ridge. So, about the sunlight. I know it's a natural phenomenon. I know it actually happens in real life. I know that the sun is like this sometimes. And I know that sometimes it's something that armies have to deal with in battle. Now, first off, they have things to counteract that, like sunglasses and tinted window screens, etc. Hats with brims on them. So we should have some way of mitigating it within the game instead of just, oh, the sun's out, guess we're blind today. I mean, you could hold your hand over your eyes. I'm pretty sure cavemen figured that one out. Secondly, just because it's something that happens in real life does not mean it's something we should have to deal with in video games. Because you also have to deal with, what are you going to do about food in this battle? You also have to deal with, hey, we should probably have some medical care available for when our guys get injured. You also have to deal with, hey, people die in battles and war. We don't have to deal with that in the video game. You don't lose your crew permanently when they get killed. So the argument that I'm sure is going to come in the comments that, well, you have to deal with this stuff in real life sometimes, doesn't hold that much water, because there's lots of things we have to deal with in video games that aren't in this video, or in real life that aren't in this video game. So just to head off those potential comments that I know are going to happen. So I was about to head back to reload my Sky Raider, and I thought, well, I can at least help spot guys for my team here with my cannons, even though I'm out of ammo. So I'm trying to get the team to move to A, and I'm going to spot from the air and light up enemy tanks for them. So we're down to just one guy left at the cap, and I know he's got an Abrams up in front of him, and I know he's going to have a hard time seeing it. It's also driving right up to him, so I'm going to mark it for him, and unfortunately get picked off by an M163. Who is naturally also sitting back on the backside of the slope right off their spawn. Because really, why wouldn't they be? I mean, with the sun behind you like that, of course that's where you're going to go. I'm not mad at them. Of course that's what you're going to do if you're in that position. Unfortunately, the guy that I tried to scout for with my Sky Raider probably couldn't see the Abrams. He also had some sort of SPG right next to him too, so he was at least 1-on-2 there. And that was that. And at this point, the guy all the way up north, across the river from their spawn, really can't help us. He did a good job getting there, and I think he got a couple kills up there, but... Oh, look, I'm aiming at the worst enemy in the battle right now. There, he got a Magok on the back of their hill right off their spawn, but... Really, we know there's an Abrams up there at least, plus whatever the SPG was that was marked, and this is what we have to see as we try to approach the A point. Now, I saw a guy there and had the crosshairs on him, and it didn't pick up and register the tank there, so I have to wait for my spotting scope to refresh. So, you know, that sucks too. Although maybe my spotting scope was also blind by the sun, who knows. We do have teammates doing their best to get around the edge here and avoid their sniper hill's line of sight and then make a move up towards the A point. And I'm trying to get to where I can see anything coming and hopefully scout it and give my guys somewhat of an equalization by scouting and marking the enemy tanks I can see. So at least my poor blind leopards up in front of me know somewhat where to point their gun barrels and maybe get a shot at something. At least a silhouette. So I had turned on the 300% research booster because I was down to the last 25 to 30,000 research points to go for my AMX 40, and was hoping for like a, you know, 10 to 12 to 16,000 vehicle RP battle, but naturally we got conquest with the sun in our face against Americans and Brits. So by the time I could even get my unstabilized gun lined up here and punch off a missile hoping I can guide it in while my gun is stabilizing, I've already taken multiple hits from enemy tanks that are just parked outside the A point. They did, to their credit, they went to the cap. They didn't go to our spawn. They didn't need to, but they didn't. They could have. They could have easily gone to our spawn, but they didn't. They went to the A point, and they stayed at their own spawn because they knew they could see from there, and they just went to the A point and capped it and stayed at the A point. So, big credit to the enemy team for doing that. Of course, by the time they would have made it to our spawn, all our team was dead anyway. But anyway, can we get rid of the sun effects? Can we just have the sun up in the sky, please? Above 60 degrees off the horizon or so every battle? That would be swell. No team should have to deal with this, whether it's to their benefit or to their detriment. It should be not a factor, because it's a video game and we can control it. Anyway, you can see with my 300% research booster, I managed to get 5,000 research from my 2 kills. So, yeah. Not what I would call a great use of a booster, but oh well, think how bad the research would have been without the 300% booster. I did get a cool award, though, for at least killing an Abrams with my AMX 30 Brennus, so that's cool. And this was the very next battle I got, so imagine if I'd had the 300% research booster here. And the sun was behind us this time. That's my Brennus looking backwards. Not that I think that's a good thing. Like I said, I don't want the sun to be affecting anybody. Anyways, rant video over. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you all for stopping by and checking this one out. We'll see you next time, and have a great day as usual, everyone. Take care.